What's up, guys? So I put up a Facebook post this morning talking about the importance of creating simple yet specific swing cues that actually fix one problem at a time and not create more. So a lot of times what ends up happening is coaches will talk about hitters needing to load or stay back in their swing, and really these cues are just not specific enough to actually accomplish anything in your swing. So what ends up happening is when you talk about a hitter staying back, what happens is they keep their hands back for a really long time, but they also keep their body back for a really long time. And if you keep your body back for a really long time, what ends up happening is the reaction time from when your brain says, okay, it's time to swing, to when your swing actually happens, it really becomes greatly decreased. So what'll end up happening is you have to make a decision on a pitch much earlier than you actually want to make that decision. So it's important to understand that when you're creating these swing cues, you really need to work hard to make sure that that whatever cue that you're saying doesn't create another problem within the swing. So please understand that there's a lot of hitters that self-organize really, really well, especially that are like a little bit younger. And it's going to take younger hitters a longer time to figure things out anyway, just because, they're younger, they don't really understand how their body moves yet. So if you're like a little league coach, or you're really just trying to help your son or daughter with their swing, it's not a bad idea that if you don't know exactly what to say to help them, become a more efficient hitter, like with, specific cues that I'm talking about right here, it's okay to say things like, hey, I really want you to focus on swinging hard, be aggressive, hit the ball over the infield. Doing things like that never hurts hitters to do that. So don't be afraid to not know everything. That's why people like me exist, is to kind of try to help you with the more specific swing cues. But if you don't understand the more specific swing cues, don't beat yourself up about it. Just say things like, be aggressive. I really want you to try to hit this ball over the infield. As long as you're saying things that promote, good actions like being aggressive and swinging on plane with the ball and swinging fast, then, you're not hurting your kid. If the things that hurt, your son or daughter, with regard to their swing, the things that hurt them are going to be specific swing cues that actually create mechanical inefficiencies. So if you don't understand how to make your son or daughter swing more mechanically efficient, that's okay, but you need to understand that and stay in, a path that is not going to create problems for them. So if you don't know how to be specific, just don't be specific. Just try and, create, sorry, my dog's sniffing something. Try and create a situation where hitters have, the right thoughts in mind, that they're trying to hit the ball hard. So one of the biggest problems that I find with little league, both for baseball and softball, is that coaches are very, very married to winning the game that's in front of them and not helping their kids win the game of baseball in the long term, which I think is what little league should actually be about. So keep in mind that if you're a little league coach, or if you're a little league coach or anything like that, if you're worried about the wins and losses column in in little league baseball, then you're really doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing that player a disservice, because the way that you win when you're in little league, ages 9 and 10, is just by making contact a lot. And if you focus on contact too early in a hitter's development, then you limit their ceiling. Because what ends up happening is they think that success means if I put the bat on the ball. And that's not the case when you get in higher level baseball and softball. If you can put the bat on the ball every time, that's wonderful. But if it's a 40 bouncer, as Domingo Ayala says, to the second baseman, then you're out every single time when the competition gets better. So if your model to win is by the other team failing, what happens when the other team stops failing? So it's really important that you're setting your son or daughter or your Little League team or whatever up for success by promoting them to be aggressive. And if you don't understand actually how to program the movement pattern yet, that's okay. You don't have to do that. Just promote them to be aggressive and you'll be fine.